Hey everyone, today I'm going to explain to you how to implement the Caterpillar or the CAT 3516, a V16 cylinder generating sets, a tune-up procedure, and monitoring of status. The parameter that I have included here for our convenience, I have already indicated all the data here. The fuel operating pressure and PSIG, pounds per square inch gauge. There are two kinds, gauge, and the other one is PSIA or pounds per square inch absolute. Okay. So we're gonna be more focused on the PSIG, also the oil pressure, PSI, engine operating temperature in degrees Celsius, the indicated horsepower at 1800 RPM at 60 cycle or 60 hertz. This is from indication from the company that this is the horsepower that that a certain engine is producing when the engine is operating at the maximum RPM, revolution per minute, 1800 RPM. So the RPM at 1800 RPM or the 60 hertz, kVA, kilovolt amperes output, prime power 60 hertz. Prime power means the company or the, say for example, a manufacturing company is not actually utilizing a government grid power supply. But when it comes to KVA output, standby power set or standby generating set, this is a unit that they are only utilizing when it comes to the failure of the government grid power supply. So the generating set in this case is only being utilized when the power is off from the government grid. So the main supply is from the government grid, but when it comes to like blackout, the generating set will be utilized at that time. So I have already given here the data that we are going to, to understand in our discussion here. I got the data for the lower limit and the upper limit, which means that this parameter will be under normal operating condition when they are within the lower limit and within between lower limit and upper limit. And I have already indicated the value, the measured value, and this is normal operating, the value that is operating and under the normal condition. So, okay. So, let's say, for example, for fuel operating pressure, PSIG, the lower limit is 55 and the upper limit is 90. And the actual value that is measured is from the gauge is around is 54 PSIG. Therefore, the measured value is in within the lower limit and upper limit, so there will be no problem when it comes to that situation. If it is outside or off from the 55, between 55 and 90 psi, then there will be problem. Like for example, this fuel operating pressure, the actual pressure is 54. This is below the lower limit, so you're gonna have problem with your generating set, with your unit, power supply unit. So this is what we're going to understand. Okay. So in order for us to understand, we're going to uh, indicate here the status. Okay. Whether the one parameter is within the normal operating condition. Therefore, okay, this is okay to the unit is okay to be operated. If one of them is missing, uh, meaning not within the normal operating condition, then we're gonna have problem operating the unit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put pass or fail. It's for its the measured value of its parameters here. If the parameter is one parameter is passed, and that's okay. Another parameter failed, and that's not okay. So what we're going to find out is find out whether the parameter is passing or failing. Okay, how are we going to do that? We're going to automate that, and we're going to have this. I've already prepared it. I've already created the button to run the macro, because we're gonna be creating the macro, and I'm gonna be writing the VBA codes in the Visual Basic. Okay, so I'm gonna start. I just click the developer. I'm gonna start creating the macro. Here in the VBA editor, I'm going to click the insert, the module. Okay, so I'm gonna create the macro. I'm gonna write the macro. I'm gonna the first macro that I'm gonna write is or rather, I'm gonna create is the tune up procedure. So it's gonna be tune up procedure. Okay, I'm gonna write sub first, then tune up procedure. This is the name of our macro. Enter. Then I'm gonna indicate all the variables in our macro. We start with dim. You already understand this from my previous video, so no need for me to expound the variables further. As worksheet. The next dim is the last row. Dim. So I'm gonna make it a bit quicker, so we're saving some time. Last row. Oh, sorry. Last row as what? Integer. Then the next one would be dim I. We're gonna loop it. So I'm gonna include the I as integer. Then the next one would be value. We're gonna have value. So we're going to include the value. So I'm going to be making two macros for these two buttons that I've already prepared. One is the tune up status. We're going to indicate here whether the parameter has passed or the parameter has failed. And the other one is generate report. As soon as we find out, we're going to generate report and transfer this into PDF, so that we can share the PDF to other stakeholders, so that they will know what is the current condition or the current status of the standby operating unit. Okay, so it will be in PDF, and it will be shared to you via email or something else. Okay, then let's go back. Then the value as double. Double means there could be some decimal places. So we're going to put double in it. Then we're gonna dim the lower limit. We're gonna dim the lower limit as, I think this is also double. All right. And of course, we're gonna dim the upper limit, as we have already dimmed the lower limit as, again, double. All right. Okay. Then, of course, as usual, set WS equals to this workbook. This workbook, I'm gonna capitalize it. Workbook dot sheets. Okay. Inside the parentheses, double quotation mark, and in our sheet, I already rename it to tune up data. If you can see below down here, the in the tab sheet tab, it's tune up data. So I'm gonna name it tune up. So tune up data, and always put it inside the double quotation mark and the parentheses. So the computer will understand what it's about. Okay, then the next one would be we're going to find the last row with data. Okay, we're gonna find the last row with data. So we're gonna say last row. Last row is equal to WS dot cells. So the computer will look for the last row of the spreadsheet, the tune up data. That count, that rows rather, that rows, and that count. Okay, and comma one, close it, then that, and enclose the Excel app, and then that row. That would be our last row. Okay, something's wrong here. Count and that's it, that row. Okay, spelling. Okay, what's wrong? It would be comma WS. Sorry. I forgot the open parenthesis. All right, we got it. So then next one for the loop for I equals to 3 because our data will start at 3 right here. So row 3. So therefore it's going to be the row 3 to last row. To last row. So it should be last row. All right. So that would be assuming the headers are in row 3. In this case, we are in the row 3, so that would be okay. Again, spelling, something wrong. Spelling, right. Then the next statement would be the next code would be the value equals to WS dot cells. Again, we're gonna enclose it with parentheses the I because we're gonna be having a loop, then comma, then number 2, then close it. That value, there will be value in these cells. So that value, then that would be in the measured value. Okay, column number 2, this one measured value. Okay, going back. Okay, that would be the measured value. Then we're gonna be doing also for the lower limit. Lower limit is equal to WS dot cells. Then I3 loop I comma 3 column, then close it, then that value. Okay, that's for the lower limit. Of course, we have the upper limit. So upper limit is equal to WS dot cells. Right, and then loop I comma 4. Okay, so the upper limit is in column number 4. Close it, and then that value. Okay, that would be for the upper limit. Now we're gonna be doing the if statement, because we'll be doing either pass or fail. So we're going to be doing if the value is like this, it's pass, the status is passed. If the value is this, then the status is fail. So we're going to find out, and then we're going to be doing, I'm going to be doing the if value is greater than or equal to lower limit and value. And value is less than or equal to upper limit. Then what? WSLs I, comma 5. Now we are in column number 5, which is what? I think this is the status, right? This is now the status, column 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would be the status that we are looking for. All right. So that would be looping in the column 5, and that value, we're going to have value in this. So that would be what? In this condition, it should be pass, right? So don't forget to enclose the pass, the text pass with double quotation mark. So the condition is if value is greater than or equal to lower limit and value is less than or equal to upper limit, then it should be pass, okay? It should be pass. Okay? Then in the previous video, I have included, I have included the color, the highlights, green or red, using the conditional formatting, right? Using this one, conditional formatting. But this time I'm gonna include this in the code. So going back to the Visual Basic. So I'm gonna, do the Visual Basic for the VBA code for our color coding. So WS dot cells. So WS I, comma 5. Okay, we're going to include the color coding, the highlights, interior, that color. Okay, interior, that color is equal to RGB. You understand what RGB means? RGB is red, green, and blue. These are the primary colors. So if we're going to say AGB and RGB, then we include the code for the color. The color is 0, 255, 255, then 0. What color is this? So the computer understand that this color green. Okay, this code is color green. So why? Because we choose green for our pass, right? The highlight color would be green for the text pass. Then else what? Else WS, we're going to, get the condition of in case the status is fail. So WS else, enclose it in parentheses again, loop, number 5, the status, then close it, then that value. So if the value is what? It's not within the lower limit and upper limit, meaning in the lower limit, in the past, greater than or equal to lower limit and value is less than or equal to upper limit, not within the that condition, then that would be fail. So we will say fail. then we have to do something about it. If the problem is that the status is failed, then that's the time that we're gonna be doing the tune up, the maintenance procedure, tune up procedure. It would be minor tune up, or it could be a major tune up that we're going to carry out to correct what's wrong, why the condition is failing. Okay, so just like the green, I mean the pass, we color it green. For the fail, we're gonna color it red. All right. There's a corresponding color for the red one. Okay. I'm gonna show you. WS dot cells. Okay. Dot cells. Uh, I5 loop number 5, and then close it. Then what? Then that interior, that color. So what would be the RGB? What is RGB again? This is the primary color, red, green, and blue. Okay, but there is corresponding code for that, and the code for the red is 255 0, 0. So that would be the red. Okay, so we don't have condition anymore, so we're going to end the DF, and then of course next I, because we are looping it, and then end sub, which we already have. Okay, so that would be our macro. These are the codes for the macro that we're going to run. Okay, if you want, you can select, or you can click the macros here. See, we already have the tune up procedure. You just run it, then the macro will run. But I'm not gonna run it now. I'm gonna run it later, because I'm gonna still write the second macro. So still, this one is also quick. So what was this next macro that we're gonna create? Remember, we had a button that says generate report. We're gonna assign that macro to this button, generate report, which the computer will this data will convert to PDF, so that you can share to your, maybe you can share to your boss, you can share this report to your colleagues, you can share to anyone who you want to share. Okay, so going back there, so for this macro, we're gonna name it generate report. All right, so you're gonna write another sub, then write generate. Okay, this time I'm not gonna make it one word. I'm gonna use underline, but never use a space between the two words, because it will not be accepted. Then, okay. All right. Then again, the variables dim WS as worksheet. The next one is dim report name. Report name as a string. What is string? String is like text, right? The next dim is dim report path. Report path as string again. Okay. Variable is very important. Okay. Variable is very important. I already explained that in my previous video. So we should, identify the variables. WS, okay, is equal to, again, this workbook. Okay, that's it. We're still on the same sheet, so it should be tune up data. All right, then close it. Okay, now we're gonna define the report name because we're having a dimension name which is the port name. So we're gonna okay, something wrong here. Set WS this workbook. That's it. It's wrong. Nothing wrong here. Why? Set WS is equal to set WS. This is yes, yes. This workbook. That's it. Ah, again I forgot the double quotation mark. See? Right. Okay. So report name, as I said, we're gonna define report name. So report name. Okay, don't separate report name. Okay, otherwise you're gonna have problem. All right. Equals CAT Caterpillar. Okay. Underline V16. I'm going to be slow here so that will not make mistakes. Underline. It's gonna be tune up. Tune up. Okay. Tune up, then underline report. Then underline double quotation mark, space, and ampersand format. Okay. Now, now, should be double quotation mark, year, 1, 2, 3, 4, month, 1, 2, day, 1, 2. Then quotation mark, then close it and PDF. We're looking at PDF. So PDF, PDF. Okay. Then mark. Then we're gonna define the report path. Okay. Report path. Report path. Okay, is equal to this workbook. This workbook. That path. Okay. And quote backslash. Then quote again. Ampersand report name. Okay. Then we're gonna export it. We're gonna export WS dot export. Export as fixed format. Fixed format. Okay. Then type colon equals XL. Type. Okay, you can actually follow. See below what is written below. You just follow the path. So you understand. Type PDF. Okay? Wrong. PDF. Comma. File name. File name. Colon equals to report path. Report path. Comma. Underline. Space. Okay? Something is wrong. Okay. See? Oh, wrong again. Export as fixed format. Type colon equals Excel type PDF, comma, file name, colon equals report path. What happened? Type colon Excel type PDF, comma, file name, colon equals report path, comma, what's this comma? Comma. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Now we say quality, colon equals XL, quality. Okay, XL quality standard. See, we just follow the one that is giving us guidance below, and then include. Okay, include doc properties. Okay, doc properties colon equals true, comma, and then underline, right? Then another one is ignore. Ignore print areas. Print areas colon equals false. Okay, comma, open after publish. After publish. Okay, right here, open after publish. Okay, then colon equals true. That's it. Then we're gonna make sure that things were going through. Okay, so we're gonna write a message. So message back will pop up. So message box. In the message box, we're gonna say report generated. So generated colon okay code and report path. Report path, comma, VB. VB information. Information. Familiar? Okay. Comma. Report complete. we say report complete. Then quote. Okay. Then nsub. All right. I think we already have that, so no need to write. Okay. So we already have two macros. First one is tune up procedures, and the second one is generate report, which is the conversion of the spreadsheet to PDF. So you will, share with your boss and colleagues or other stakeholders of the company, right? So since I already created the button for our convenience, I'm gonna right click this one, then I'm gonna assign a macro. The macro that we're going to have for this is the tune up procedure, and just click OK. And the macro that we're gonna have for the generate report is the macro generate report, and click OK. Okay, we have it. So we're gonna run the macro now. Tune up status, click. Okay, so you have it there. So you have parameters in this report. You have parameters that are failing, which is the fuel operating pressure PSIG is only 54 PSI. So way below the lower limit. Then the oil pressure PSI is 29, still lower than the lower limit. And engine temperature 95, which is over the upper limit, 93. And the last failure is the indicator horsepower, 1,100 at 1,800 RPM. Supposedly, the lower limit is 1,200. So, meaning the generating sets will not produce enough power, enough horsepower to distribute to the entire plant, industrial plant. So we're gonna fix it. How are we gonna fix this? We're gonna fix this by the tune-up procedure. Something wrong with the tune-up. So here in the tune-up procedure, CAT 3516 standby generator tune-up procedure, you got number one, daily routine check before operation. So every time you operate the standby set, you need to, before operation, daily operation, you need to check this thing, check the oil level. Very important, because otherwise, if you have a low level, you're going to have problems with your main bearing. You're going to have problems with your connecting rod bearing. You're going to have problems with your crankshaft, your camshaft, and other important parts of the engine. So you have to check the oil level. You're going to check the coolant level. Otherwise, if there is no coolant, or the level is low, the engine could be overheating. So it will overheat. So you don't want that to happen. Otherwise, if you have an overheating engine, then some parts will be damaged. So check fuel level and leaks. Okay, maybe leaking the oil filter, fuel filter, and some other area. Check, inspect air filters every 250 kilometer, rather hours. Okay, that's why important that you have a hour meter, either in the panel or hour meter installed, installed on the engine, or installed in the control panel. Okay, an hour meter, and hour meter should be working good. So under this 250 hours, you should change the oil and oil filter, inspect fuel filters, replace if needed, check battery, electrolyte level. You know, uh, most of the heavy duty generating sets, especially this one is V16, 16 cylinders. It's a huge one, 1,200 at least horsepower. Some engines are having two batteries, and they are installed in such a way that it should be in series connection, so that it will produce 24 volts. Each battery has 12 volts, and if you have, if you're going to install it in parallel connection, it will have the same volts, 12 volts. But if you're going to install it in a series connection, then it will give you an output of 24 volts, and your starting motors would be 24 volts. So it will have more power to turn the engine while doing some cranking or starting the engine. Then inspect belts and hoses. Every 500 hours, you have to replace fuel filters, check and clean crankcase breather, inspect turbocharger for leaks or damage. Maybe leaks could be coming from the center bearing, you know, and maybe the turbocharger is damaged. And there are two wheels on the turbocharger. There is a cold wheel and a hot wheel. The the cold wheel is you know the hot wheel is the hot wheel is the one that is getting damaged easily. Then you have every 1,000 hours of tune up maintenance, change primary and secondary fuel filters, clean or replace air filters, inspect after cooler. Some engines are calling it intercooler, but Caterpillar, they call it after cooler. And radiator, check valve flush and adjust if necessary. In every 2,000 hours, adjust valve clearance, inspect injectors and fuel lines, flush and replace coolant, perform full system inspection. Full system meaning everything: electrical system, fuel system, cooling system, etc. Then every 4,000 plus hours, this would be a major tune-up already. They overhaul your injectors. Maybe you're not producing enough horsepower because you are having problem with your injectors. It's not, giving enough fuel for combustion. So you have to overhaul, or some guys are calling it, calibration. They are calibrating the injectors. They are calibrating the fuel injection pump, things like that. But you overhaul to clean and replace parts. Okay, inspect and possibly replace turbocharger. Inspect bearings and main components. Conduct full load test. When you say conduct full load test, you are running the engine, running the generators, and then you close the circuit breaker so that you distribute some fuel, some power to the plant. Okay, maybe you open all the HVAC, you open all the electrical system and other electrical loads, in order for you to be able to check the system, check the generating sets, giving it full load operation. Then number 7 is electrical system inspection, like check starter motor and alternator function, inspect and tighten battery terminals, verify voltage regulator and governor settings. This is fuel governor settings. Load test and final checks. Again, load test, start engine and monitor pressures and temperatures. Conduct a no load run for 15 to 20 minutes. Apply load test 50% to 100% rated capacity. Okay. Monitor frequency. In this case, we're having 60 hertz and voltage output. Maybe the voltage output is 480 volts, AC volts. So there's a voltmeter. You adjust the voltmeter and put it in the right voltage, like 480 volts. And you have a 60 hertz gauge. You adjust the hertz to exactly the 60 hertz. Sometimes it goes down to 58. It goes down to, or maybe too much, like 62 hertz. You put it right on the 60 hertz. Some guys, some power plant operators, when they synchronize two sets, two standby sets, three or more standby sets, they adjust the hertz a little bit higher, so that when they turn on the switch, it will go to right to the 60 hertz. Otherwise, the operator will adjust it. Then the final steps will be record all readings for future reference. Okay. Address any irregularities found during testing. Ensure the generator is in automatic standby mode for operation. The exact intervals can vary depending on factors like operating conditions, load levels, fuel quality. Always refer to CAT's official service manual or maintenance guide for your specific model and application. Okay. So going back to here, so you have problems. So you fix it, you fix the problem. Okay. By the way, the horsepower can be, you uh, can be found out when you're doing a what you call uh, testing on the, you know, outside of the generator. Maybe you have a dynamometer test. Okay, okay, it spells like this: dynamometer. You have a dynamometer room where you install the engine. You take off the engine from the generator, or sometimes somebody is calling it alternator because it's three phase. You know, so that's why they call it alternator. But most of the time, you call it generating set, generator. So you dismount it from the generator and put the engine in the dynamometer room. Then you're going to check the horsepower, the brake horsepower. Okay. What is the brake horsepower? The actual output horsepower of the engine. And then also you're going to check the torque, engine torque. These are the two things that you're going to check when you are doing a dynamometer test inside the dynamometer room. Okay. So it's okay. Then when you install the, okay, when you install the engine back to the generator, then you're going to check the kVA, kilovolts amperes, doing amp probe. Okay, if you have an amp probe, you check each uh, cable. There are three cables. This is three phase. So you check its cable. Just like doing the engine test in the dynamometer, you can also do the testing of the generator itself outside by doing a brine test. Okay, what is brine test? You have a tank with water and salt, and then you dip the three phase output of the generator with the engine running. Then you'll find out whether, you know, the engine will be able to handle the output. Okay, so that would be, you know, that would be a major. Maybe you're if you are doing a um, if you're doing a major overhauling of the engine or doing major overhauling of the generator, then you do this testing, the dynamometer test and the brine test. Okay, it's called brine because of the salt that you put inside the water, mix into the water. All right. So this is the problem. So what are you going to do? We're going to, you know, generate a report for this. Okay, this is problem. Okay. What is the problem? The problem is the format path, format now. Going to debug, step over, sub or function not defined. Click OK. That's okay. Okay, cat, home. Report name, cat, V16, tune up, report, and format. Then now, underline. Okay, we have to put underline. We have to put the hour. HS, MM, SS. Okay, and PDF. We check, reset. Still having problem. Step over. Sub or function not defined. This is under the report name and format and format. Now, okay, run again. Still the same. Wrong spelling. My goodness. Format. Right? Run again. Okay, you got it. All right. So we are generating the report. Okay. So we're gonna generate the report. So here in the report, you can see that the what you have in the spreadsheet is transferred to the PDF, converted to PDF. Here in PDF, you have a printer here. You can print, or you can save it, save as. Then you can do, you can share it with your colleagues or your boss, maybe to the general manager or the operations manager. All right. So you will have no problems. Okay. So, okay, that's okay. So going back to the spreadsheet, okay. Then upon doing the maintenance or the tune up, then you have okay, you you make some changes. Maybe operating pressure is become 60, and your oil pressure gauge becomes maybe 40. Okay, and this one maybe the temperature, because you clean the radiator, you change the coolant. Maybe you add 50-50 water and the ethylene glycol, the coolant should be 50 percent mixture. So the normal, because the engine operating temperature becomes normal, and it reads maybe around 85, things like that. And the horsepower, the brake horsepower, okay, are able to get, let's say, 2,300 horsepower. Then, okay, then check the status. The status becomes all pass. Okay, that's why very important with the maintenance department to ensure that the tune-up procedure is strictly followed and you don't miss the frequency, like 250 hours you have to do something, uh, you know 250 hours, every 500 hours, the things that are listed here. Or if you do not trust this, you go to your own the Caterpillar service manual, and then you follow what is written. That would be your guidance. You written in the maintenance service manual, so there will be no problem. And for the major causes, like it is overheated and you damage the bearings, you damage the crankshaft, then the engine would need overhauling. As much as possible, the company would avoid overhauling a 16-cylinder Caterpillar engine because it's very expensive to overhaul, because you have to buy new bearings, you have to buy main bearings, connecting rod bearings, you buy pistons. If the piston is burned, or the piston rings, or maybe the camshaft is also damaged, you have to replace the camshaft, you have to replace the crankshaft, and these parts are not cheap, they are expensive. So that's the reason why we're doing preventive maintenance, we're doing regular tune up, in order for us to avoid major damage or major failure of the unit, because this is not cheap units. The Caterpillar 3516 V16 generating set is not cheap. It's expensive. So as the spare parts that you're gonna buy is so expensive. That's why, as much as possible, you want to do, you know, the regular tune-up and regular maintenance of the standby unit set. Okay, so this is it now for our discussion, and I hope you like this presentation. Thank you for watching.